Okay, good afternoon and welcome to Iyun to lean on Siman Kuf in Shulchan Aruch or Achayim. This Siman deals with preparing tefillos before the time that they're going to be said. Really, the halacha is talking about that you shouldn't stumble on the words. So, if you don't have a siddur, that's what the Shulchan Aruch is talking about. The Ramah explains, where you don't have a siddur, you're davening without a siddur. So you're going to stumble on the words, you're going to forget the words, so you have to prepare in advance. However, if you have a siddur, right, for the Sholosh Regalim or for Musaf on Rosh Chodesh, Ya'alav Yavo, Ala Nisim, even though you don't know it by heart, you have a siddur, you won't stumble, you don't have to prepare in advance. However, the Mishnah Berurah does add in the name of the Taz, that Tfilos Piyutim Shechamer Perusham, Sarach Lahasir Tchila V'Lamahani Sefer Rozeh. Taz says a big chomer. He says that when it comes to Tfilos and Piyutim that are hard to understand, right? Even if you have a siddur in front of you, it's not good enough. You have to prepare in advance, which is the source for a lot of people before the tefillos of Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur and Slichos, preparing in advance. I remember in my old yeshiva, they actually used to say yotzros. I don't know if people know what yotzros are. They're a collection of piyutim that you say during the recitation of the four Parshas Shkalim, Parshas Zachar, those 4 weeks, the Arba Parshios, in Adar. Some congregations, most congregations don't do it, but some congregations, the Machmer ones do. They say Yotzros, which is a collection of piyutim you say on Shabbos morning during those weeks where you have an extra parsha. And they actually put out these piyutim Friday night. People look at them, and I think only one person actually looked at it, and the Rashi was happy with this one person who looked at it. But it's kind of hard because even if you spend days and weeks studying these piyutim and tefillos, slichos, and Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, all these things we say, we love to sing them along, right? But at the end of the day, who understands the words to this? I believe the Taz is mistaken in this. The whole source of the Taz, you have to understand the words. Taz is assuming every other tefillah, even on Rosh Chodesh or Shalosh Regalim, you understand what they say, you just might forget. So the underlying assumption is that you have to understand what you're saying. But I mentioned even by tefillah, by Shemona Esrei, where the Shulchan Aruch's Perush yesterday was that you have to have Perush Hamilos, you have to mechaber Perush Hamilos, and I believe that the Brisker Rav, Rav Chaim Brisker says famously that for the first bracha, at least of Shemona Esrei, you have to understand the Perush Hamilim Li Kuva. The rest of it only L'Chadchila. That pshat is not so mafurish in the Gemara. It's just mechaber, and I've said mechaber in a general sense. You have to know where tefillah is taking you, what direction it's taking you, not to understand Perush Hamilim. And certainly over here, when it comes to hard piyutim and things you say on Rosh Hashanah, there's no obligation to understand what it says, because even if you pray it for a million days, you probably wouldn't understand it while you're saying it. You probably have to look at the translation simultaneously in the article. I know they have some articles, translations underneath the words. I don't think it still helps you. You have to go really slow. I don't think you have to understand what you're saying. That's not the point of tefillah. As I mentioned many times, the point of tefillah is just to get you going in the right direction. You certainly don't have to understand what you're saying. Maybe a general idea of what you're saying, maybe. But that suffices while you're saying the tefillah, to look in the English or just a couple words that you know from the paragraph should help you understand what the thing is talking about. And I believe that whole thing of only knowing in a general sense what we're talking about is only relevant to Shemona Esrei, certainly not to piyutim, which are not chiyuvim anyway, to say in other tefillos, Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur. So that guy, I'm sure, is happy with what I just said also. So he's my biggest fan. And that's what I have to say about the matter. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope people have atzlacha with their davening and Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, but don't be too crazy about it, and don't prepare in advance. That's my advice to you. See you in the next one.